Is video analysis software causing you to miss out on repeatable power? Hey, what's going on? It's Joey Myers from the Hitting Performance Lab, and in this video analysis software presentation we're going to talk about how to not lose the forest for the trees. We're going to go over three different things. The first thing is priorities. Video analysis software versus human movement rules. Number two, we're going to talk about what do a bucket, a hanging object, and the hitter's front arm all have in common. And lastly, number three, we're going to talk about the 90 degrees to the spine rule. But first, let's talk about priorities and video analysis software versus human movement rules. So what should be carried as a higher priority? Human movement science or slow motion video analysis? If you've been on the net and landed yourself in a hitting forum, you've come across Johnny the instructor, who boasts that he's got thousands and thousands of hours of slow motion video analysis under his belt. But I call them paper tigers unless they have a strong root system in human movement science. Now there's four reasons why hitters nowadays are more inefficient in their swings. The first thing has to do with how sedentary athletes are. They're sitting a lot more nowadays than they were in the mid-1900s. The second thing is that they're overcoached and they're micromanaged when it comes to their hitting mechanics. The other thing is that they're taught backwards hitting philosophy. And fourth, the cues that are used by coaches and instructors are more general, they're misunderstood, and they're ineffective. So what we want to do is we want to look at human movement science first. Then we go to slow motion video analysis. Now let's go into looking into what do a bucket, a hanging object, and the hitter's front arm have in common. So let's use science to explain the optimal position of the hitter's front elbow when it comes to setting the pitch plane early. Now imagine you got a bucket. You're going to punch a hole in the bucket lip, attach a string, one end of the string. The other end of the string is going to be tied a rock. So if you're holding that bucket level, that rock's just going to dangle down there because of gravitational forces. Now the minute that I tip the bucket lip, that rock is going to stay there pointing towards the ground, but now we're going to see a little bit of a light gap between the side of the bucket and the string. So we want gravitational forces to determine where that rock's going to be. When we talk about and connect the dots with the swing, when we tip the shoulders down, we want gravity to determine where that elbow is going to be. If we go against gravity and we chicken wing that front arm, or we artificially pull it into the rib cage, we're using muscles, and when we use and activate the wrong muscles, then it's going to slow down the swing. Let's go into and see how Giancarlo Stanton uses the 90-degree barrel or bat to spine angle rule.
So let's talk about how to stay on one plane using the front arm. Now how do we do that? Kyle Harrington, one of my readers, brought this to my attention. He talked about that a hitter like Giancarlo Stanton stays on one single plane, and this is when the barrel is most efficient at accelerating. So if we look at Giancarlo Stanton here, you can see that his spine angle and his front arm are nearly 90 degrees from each other. Now if we look at Giancarlo Stanton at contact, you're going to see the same 90-degree angle formed from the bat and front arm and his spine. Now here's a backside view at setup, and here's a backside view at impact. Now what I want you to get out of this video is to make sure that you're looking to human movement science first, then to video motion analysis. Make sure that you're swinging smarter by moving better.